Throughout history, Jerusalem has stood at the center of faith, prophecy, and destiny, a city where ancient promises meet unfolding realities. Today, something extraordinary is taking shape, something that believers, scholars, and nations have watched for generations. Prophecies once spoken in sacred texts are beginning to echo in real time, and recent announcements from leading rabbis have sent a ripple of anticipation around the world. This isn't just about history, it's about witnessing a story that may define the future. In the moments ahead, we'll uncover the powerful steps being taken toward the rebuilding of the Third Temple, explore their deep prophetic meaning, and understand why global attention is turning once again toward Jerusalem. Stay with me because every detail matters, and what you're about to hear may change the way you see the world forever. In recent months, reports emerging from Jerusalem indicate that a group of influential rabbis has made a significant announcement concerning the future of the Temple Mount. These religious leaders who hold authority within various rabbinical councils and institutions have stated that preparations are underway to take the next practical and spiritual step toward the construction of the Third Temple. Their announcement does not refer to vague aspirations, but to concrete planning and coordination. This includes outlining ceremonial procedures, organizing priestly groups, and discussing the legal and religious frameworks required for such a monumental undertaking. The statement is seen by many observers as a bold declaration that the vision of rebuilding the temple is moving from theory to a more tangible phase. Behind closed doors, discussions reportedly involve logistical considerations such as site management, religious rituals, and ensuring that the preparations align with both Jewish law and the sensitivities surrounding the Temple Mount. The announcement has also drawn attention because it reflects a growing confidence within some religious circles that the conditions in Jerusalem are aligning with ancient prophecies. While construction has not begun, the tone of the rabbi's message suggests deliberate and organized movement toward that ultimate goal. The Temple Institute, based in Jerusalem, has long been at the center of efforts to prepare for the eventual rebuilding of the Third Temple. Established in the 1980s, this organization has devoted decades to researching ancient texts, reconstructing sacred vessels, and training individuals in priestly rituals according to biblical standards. Over the years, they have crafted items such as the golden menorah, incense altars, priestly garments, and other ritual tools that would be required if the temple were to be rebuilt. In recent developments, the Institute has intensified its activities, unveiling new vessels, expanding educational programs, and increasing public outreach through media and guided tours. This acceleration appears to align closely with the recent rabbinical announcements, indicating a synchronized effort between religious leaders and institutional actors. Their work extends beyond symbolism, as the artifacts they produce are not merely for display, but are made to precise halakhic Jewish legal specifications, ready for immediate ceremonial use. The Institute has also been involved in architectural planning, releasing models and plans that depict a detailed vision of the future temple. Their dedication demonstrates that preparations are far more advanced than many realize, making their recent actions a pivotal part of this unfolding development. The rebuilding of the Third Temple holds deep prophetic significance within both Jewish and Christian traditions, making recent developments in Jerusalem resonate far beyond religious circles. In Jewish eschatology, the temple's reconstruction is often associated with the coming of the Messiah, the restoration of ancient worship, and the fulfillment of biblical promises regarding Israel's spiritual revival. Many point to scriptures and books such as Ezekiel, Isaiah, and Daniel, which describe a future sanctuary and renewed worship in Jerusalem as central elements of the Messianic era. In Christian prophetic interpretations, especially within evangelical and apocalyptic perspectives, the Third Temple is viewed as a key sign linked to end-time events, including the appearance of the Antichrist and the Second Coming. This dual prophetic weight has led religious scholars, theologians, and believers worldwide to closely monitor any move toward temple reconstruction. For many, the announcement by rabbis and the work of the Temple Institute are not isolated actions, but prophetic markers indicating that ancient predictions may be unfolding in real time. These interpretations amplify the global attention on Jerusalem, as every step toward preparing for the temple is seen by some as a direct fulfillment of centuries-old prophecies that have shaped religious thought and expectation. In recent months, there has been a noticeable increase in Jewish religious activity on the Temple Mount, a site that holds immense spiritual and political importance. Traditionally, Jewish visits to this area were limited and heavily restricted, both by religious rulings and political agreements, but that situation is slowly shifting. A growing number of religious Jews are ascending the mount in organized groups, often accompanied by rabbis who guide prayers and rituals according to halakhic guidelines. This trend reflects a rising movement within Israeli society that views a more active Jewish presence on the Mount as a necessary step toward reclaiming the site's spiritual centrality. In some cases, individuals have been seen quietly praying or reading scripture in areas where such acts were previously prohibited, signaling a change in both attitude and enforcement. This activity is supported by advocacy groups that campaign for Jewish rights on the Mount, framing it as both a religious duty and a national cause. These developments are creating new dynamics between religious communities, authorities, and security forces as each visit is closely monitored due to the site's sensitivity. The increasing visibility of these movements underscores a broader shift toward normalizing Jewish worship in a place that many believe will one day host the Third Temple. The growing discussions and actions surrounding the Third Temple have begun attracting significant geopolitical attention, highlighting Jerusalem's role as a focal point of global religious and political tension. Any movement toward the temple's reconstruction immediately impacts not only Israel's internal affairs, but also its relationships with neighboring nations and the wider international community. The Temple Mount is revered by Jews, Muslims, and Christians, making it one of the most contested pieces of land on earth. For the Muslim world, the Al-Aqsa Mosque and Dome of the Rock, which currently occupy the site, are among the holiest places in Islam, and any perceived change in the status quo sparks strong reactions across the Middle East. Political leaders, international organizations, and foreign governments closely monitor these developments, as even symbolic religious actions can escalate into widespread unrest or diplomatic crises. Media outlets and analysts have noted that recent rabbinical announcements and increased activity on the Mount are being discussed at high political levels, indicating the sensitivity of the situation. Unfolding events are viewed not only through a religious lens, but also as potential catalysts for shifts in regional alliances, security policies, and international diplomatic strategies, making Jerusalem's current developments a matter of global significance. The phrase next step in the context of the Third Temple does not necessarily refer to immediate physical construction, but to carefully planned religious and organizational measures that bring the vision closer to reality. These steps may involve intensifying priestly training, which includes preparing members of the priestly lineage to perform ancient rituals in strict accordance with biblical law. Ceremonial announcements and public statements by leading rabbis are also part of this process, intended to spiritually prepare the community and signal a new phase of readiness. Coordination between religious authorities, advocacy groups, and certain political figures is becoming more structured, focusing on how to align legal, religious, and logistical elements. This stage can also include increased educational campaigns, outreach to the Jewish public, and symbolic events that reinforce the idea that the temple is no longer a distant hope, but an active goal. These developments are viewed by some religious communities as prophetic milestones representing the fulfillment of divine timelines rather than human planning. The deliberate nature of these actions suggests a strategic progression, where each symbolic or administrative step is carefully designed to lay the groundwork for the eventual moment when construction can take place under conditions deemed appropriate by religious law and political circumstance. The unfolding developments in Jerusalem surrounding the Third Temple reflect a powerful convergence of faith, history, and geopolitics. From rabbinical announcements and the meticulous preparations of the Temple Institute to the growing religious activity on the Temple Mount and the global attention these moves attract, each step represents more than just a local event. It resonates with centuries of prophecy and expectation. The next step, declared by religious authorities, signifies a deliberate, organized progression toward a goal that has been at the heart of spiritual narratives for generations. Whether viewed through a religious, cultural, or political lens, these moments mark a significant chapter in the ongoing story of Jerusalem, a city that continues to shape the destiny of nations. Thank you for staying with us through this powerful and thought-provoking journey. May this knowledge inspire deeper understanding and reflection on the times we live in. Wishing you insight, peace, and good fortune as we continue to watch history unfold. Thank you and good luck.